Hi, Empaths. Welcome back to this channel. Of course, I'm sending you lots of love and light and honoring you for all that you are. Thank you so much, dear Empaths, for showing up in your highest light, embodying the light of the divine. Thank you for remembering that you are co-creating the experience that you're having, but also that you're co-creating healing on the planet with the divine that you work with, your angels, your ancestors, your guardian protectors, your guides, all of those beautiful divine beings that your soul and God creator have put in place to assist you on your journey on this planet. Being a spiritual essence, having a human experience. You are not alone. You are completely, totally, divinely supported. You are totally protected. And of course, you are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are honored, you are respected. Not just here on the earth plane by other empaths who are also holding the light, but you are also you are loved and honored and protected and respected by the divine. They are supporting you. God essence, is activating the God particles within you. And therefore, you are mirroring back to the divine, the profundity of the divine. So you're a mirror reflection of the divinity that's been downloaded by you. Okay. So the light of God, creator, source, the universe, is projecting profound pure light to you. You're receiving, embodying, integrating, and then mirroring back or reflecting back to the divine what they see when they look at you because they're seeing themselves. And of course, you're sharing that with humanity. So it's very beautiful. It's the infinity cycle, the infinity circle. You are an embodiment of that profundity and oneness, that oneness cycle of love and light. You are it. You're an illustrated lesson, a walking, talking, breathing integration and lesson of the divine. So thank you, beautiful ones, for showing up in your highest light. Today is a very beautiful autumn day in Southern California in the United States. It's quite windy, so I had to shut all my windows. But the sun is out. It's really beautiful. The sun is actually setting, and it's not even, it's like barely going to be, it's not even 4 p.m. in the afternoon, but the sun has shifted, preparing for sunset. So autumn days are interesting. Anyway, dear ones, this will be a short message and to the point. I want to talk to you quickly about recognizing, the power over structure. It is alive and well. So as much as you are holding the light, embodying the light, emanating a pure heart structure and showing humanity that purity still exists and integrity still exists, honesty is a path that is, an option. It is available to those who choose to be in their highest light. Of course, the opposite exists as well. That's, the law of opposites. So for every, pure heart structure, there's always going to be an impure opposite. Okay. There's always going to be a shadow aspect or a shadow element of every single thing we see on the planet. So for every, thing that's beautiful, there will be the ugly parts. For everything that's, tidy and neat, there's going to be the messy parts. The messy bits exist as well. That's part of the earth experience, the human experience, until we transcend and until we ascend and until we integrate collectively as humans, that there's a higher light, there's a higher evolutionary experience and opportunity for us to still be human, but to be ascended humans, to be enlightened humans, to be integrated whole humans who are, yes, on the earth plane having an earth experience, a human experience, but we're also light, we're also spirit, we're also divine. And so when the entire human collective finally integrates that, collectively we will ascend. In the meantime, individual ascensions are always happening. They're always available into the infinite. And, one person at a time ascended creates a better, healthier, more beautiful planet. So, empaths, the work that you're doing is big, it's powerful, it's strong, it's much needed, it's very important. But let's talk for a few moments about the power over structure. Let's make sure that we're very aware of it. We're highlighting it not to be afraid of it or to fall into discouragement. We're highlighting it so we know exactly what we're seeing. So think about if you were playing chess or any game for that matter, any board game or any video game or a scavenger hunt, or like your own little personal survivor, game, or obstacle course. If you knew the rules of the game and you knew where the pitfalls were and you knew what the challenges were and you knew what the scams were and the schemes were, if you knew where those were, then you could win the game easily, right? Because you know what to look out for and you wouldn't fall for the traps. So that's why we're discussing the power over structure today. It's just about recognizing it so that you're just like, oh, I see you. I got you. let me just move over here, so that doesn't affect me. That energy doesn't fall and over here in my direction and mess with my high life. So, dear empath, some of you are, like I said, embodying the light with a pure heart structure. You're doing your best. You're in it to win it. You're showing up hard. You're showing up strong in such a beautiful way. And you don't even mess with anybody. Like you are just in your light, maybe in hermit mode, in your little cave, in the sanctuary of the heart, honoring yourself, loving yourself, learning new ways to, connect with nature and the universe and the divine. And you're honoring oneness and respecting all beings, all layers of consciousness. So you're doing your thing, not disturbing anyone, at least not intentionally disturbing anyone, but being in your highest light with purity and integrity oftentimes does disturb some energies. Crazy, right? To imagine that your authenticity actually offends some people. And the way that you move through the world often upsets people, energies, entities that are not existing in the highest light, that do not honor God, that are not working with the divine to make the planet a better place. So the fact, dear ones, that you are happy and content to disconnect from the mass consciousness, or I should say the mass negative consciousness, really irritates. It really aggravates. It really offends some energies, entities, and people because you are a mirror, right? That's part of your work on this planet. So as a mirror, you are constantly, without even trying, your energy signature is reflecting back to all of consciousness, all of humanity, all of the collective, what they're doing well and where the weeds are in their garden that they need to pull out so that they can be a better version of themselves. You're not coming at it like you guys need to get it together. You're not doing that. You're just being you, and you're just honoring yourself, and you're just honoring, your highest light and being in your own energy. And that vexes some people, that offends some people, that irritates some people, that annoys some energies. So there are many attempts from these energies, entities, darker beings to draw you back into the matrix. They want to drag you down. And they'll at first try and tempt you and seduce you and do whatever it takes, to get you back in the matrix, but the negative matrix. But if you don't fall for it, if you are, embodying your highest light, remembering who you are, honoring all that you are, spending more time in nature, spending more time in meditation than being on, social media. If you are honoring your highest light and honoring God, creator, then they're going to go to the next level. And the next level is to try and defame you, disrespect you, shame you, guilt you, or just wear you down by being annoying or condescending or confrontive or argumentative or always angry with you. They gaslighting. I mean, there's so many tactics. I've talked about it before. And all of this is an attempt to make you feel weak and defenseless. Your only task, beautiful, dear Empath Collective, is to stay the course, to stay focused, and not get distracted. So sometimes when empaths don't realize what they're dealing with, and that this is a game that we win, we're in the light, love wins, we win, the divine wins, we are going to win this game. But there are highs and lows, hills and valleys, and sometimes a lot of challenges. But when empaths haven't completely integrated that and they forget momentarily who they are and that they are divinely supported, they may feel depressed, discouraged, overwhelmed, maybe even intrusive thoughts or suicidal thoughts. If that is the case, dear ones, please get the help that you need, professional help if necessary, but stay the course and allow yourself to rise above. During dark moments, you may feel so overwhelmed that you don't feel like you can take the attacks, I guess, if you will, the emotional assaults, the energetic assaults. And, sometimes empaths will say things like, well, it's just too much to take. I can't do this anymore. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to be here. It's too uncomfortable. And I get that. I think every empath has felt that at some point. I think we've all been there, right? And we're all on our path, growing and learning. And what I'd like to say to you, empaths, if it's a struggle for you at this time, stay the course, spend time in nature, spend time in meditation, and ask the divine to mirror back to you all that you are. Ask the divine to show you how loved you are, how valuable you are, and how integral you are to the overall cosmic super puzzle. In other words, ask the divine to show you why your light is so important and why you're so necessary and why you're required and why you're so needed. You can reset, you can calm your nervous system, and you can clear energy. You really can. So if you need to get professional help, like see a therapist or a counselor or a healer, go ahead and do that. But also exercise the courage, dear ones, in your meditative times to call on the divine guardians who have agreed, consented, and promised to assist you in this earth life, in this human experience, to assist you in all of your healing, your integration, clearing karma, transcending what no longer serves, up leveling, embodying the highest light, being the best version of yourself so that you can fulfill your spiritual work. Okay? When it feels uncomfortable and you're thinking to yourself, it's just too much to take, I'd like to encourage you to distinguish between the energies of something being really too much versus something just being uncomfortable. We can do hard things, empaths. So what that means is even if it's uncomfortable, even if the energy's hard because you're the only one in a setting that has integrity, you're the only one with the pure heart structure, you still have to exercise the courage to do the right thing. I remember many years ago when I was in my first clinical management position. I was younger, and it was my first time in this job, and I worked for a company where they'd given me a lot of responsibility, and it was a nonprofit organization. We worked with the state and the county, and I had to do billing. And the first time I did billing, the what I billed for looked extremely less money than the previous director in my position. And so the executive director of our company was really upset. He felt like I wasn't billing properly. How was it possible that, there could be so much less? Why would we be getting reimbursed way less money? And when the only thing that had changed was I took over the position. And I remember telling my direct boss, who was under the executive director, my boss was the associate executive director. I said, I know it looks very different, but I've read everything, I've studied everything, I've looked at the contracts, and I really believe I'm billing correctly. And I don't want to create any problems for the company by billing incorrectly. And, so it kind of caused a rift, but I stood in my integrity. And it was uncomfortable, obviously. That wasn't a very comfortable position. But we were audited a few months later by the county at the time and then by the state. And the company, unbeknownst to the executive director and the board and the associate director, had been billing incorrectly. And so there ended up being this huge audit that ended up going on for many, many years. And I was the one who was billing correctly. But the previous director had billed incorrectly so many times that this company ended up incurring fines, thousands and thousands of dollars for whatever you call it, misappropriation of funds or something like that. That would have continued if I had just gone with the flow and just said, well, I'm just going to do it the way they were doing it. I didn't. I stood in my integrity, anchored myself, even though it was uncomfortable. It wasn't popular, but it turns out I was right because I was in the right. Okay. And so that's an example. Dear one, sometimes it's going to feel uncomfortable because you're the only one doing the right thing. You're anchored in the truth. You're embodying the light. You're operating in integrity. And people who are used to not operating in integrity or are used to scheming and scamming and that kind of thing, they're going to just want you to get with the program. Why aren't you getting with the program? Do you know what I'm saying? So, I want to encourage you to remember during tough times, even if everybody's against you, you can do hard things, empaths. We all can do hard things. We can rise above, even when it's difficult. But let's take a look at what the power over structure wants you to do so that you can recognize. I want you to understand what they look like, what they feel like, what they smell like, what they taste like. Okay. So number one, power over structure is always manipulative. They always use force and they always use control. Okay. They are very comfortable, number two, with cheating, with scamming. They're okay with schemes, lies, pretense, and nefarious agendas. They're not embodying the light. They're not staying in the light. And they're very, very comfortable using any tactic or any approach that accomplishes the goal, that gives them what they want versus what is aligned, what is appropriate, and what serves the highest good of all. Remember, the law of oneness is always about the highest good of all, right? Not only your highest good, but the highest good of all of the divine beings that are there, that are part of the collective. Whereas power over structure generally is only concerned about one or two or a smaller group of individuals. They really don't care about the mass collective. And then number three, this is where power over structure might be missed. You might not recognize it like this. This is where people will ask you for things, or they want you to do things. They'll ask you for favors, but they never reciprocate. So they want something from you, and then you give it. Okay, maybe you give whatever the thing is, but they always want more. And they're always asking for more, but they never, ever recognize the law of reciprocity. So I'll give you an example. As a clinician, I have clients, I have customers, and they pay me, for me to work with them. But I get emails all the time. I get messages on social media all the time from all over the world, from people I don't know. They're not my customers. They're not my clients. Asking me for help, asking me how to handle a particular situation, asking me if I will pray for them or meditate and see if I get clarity about something that they should do in a particular situation. And because I'm here to serve humanity, I will often honor that person by saying, okay, here's how you self-regulate when you feel panic. This is how you can alleviate a panic attack in just a few seconds. Here's a way to reset the brain, or here's a way to calm the nervous system. Or when I meditate, this is what I do. These are some of the things I suggest you do if you want to create, a ritual. I will give that freely. I don't charge anybody. I don't, say, well, here's my fee. But what's very interesting is there are times, not across the board, there are times when people will still keep messaging, keep asking for more. Now they want me to ask about this. Now they want me to do the angels do this? Can you help this? Can you pray for this? Can you blah, blah, blah? They keep asking, keep asking, keep asking without ever once saying, you've been helping me so much. Is there a way that I can donate to you? What's your hourly fee? Or is there a program or an organization that I can donate to, because you've blessed me? Is there something that's dear to your heart that I can bless so that I can pay it forward, so that I can say thank you? Most people never do that. Most people never consider the fact that if they're asking, law of reciprocity should require that they give something. Now, I never asked for it, and I don't expect it. I don't need anything. But at the same time, the fact that it doesn't occur to that structure, if I'm asking for something, if I'm taking, I ought to bring balance and also give. The fact that it doesn't occur to them helps you locate where their consciousness is and whether they're truly embodying a pure heart structure. Now, I'm not saying this for us to judge them. It's not about judgment. And I'm also not linking this last group that I just mentioned with the first two, the manipulative, forceful controllers, or those that cheat and scam. I'm not saying they're the same, okay? But they are all a part of the power over structure. One is a little bit more insidious and benign. You wouldn't necessarily recognize it because they're asking for help. And the reason it's important for us to recognize them, dear empaths, it's not to judge anyone. But you've got very important work to do on this planet. So you have to be cognizant of the ways that your energy is being drained. If you're always giving, and there's never balance. Now, a lot of the time, our compensation, the law of compensation, comes directly from the universe. It comes from the divine. The law of divine compensation is granted to us by God, creator, guardians, angels, ancestors. So I'm certainly not saying look to people to have your abundance and prosperity come in. Always look to the divine, and the divine will bless you for sure. Abundance is real, and it's a gift to us, especially those of us that are embodying the light and doing the work. But it is important for us to recognize when a person doesn't understand balance, when a person doesn't understand reciprocity, reciprocal relationship, the infinity circle, the infinity cycle. When a person doesn't understand that's what it looks like, that it's like, you give to me, I give to you, balance. I receive from you, you receive from me. When a person doesn't recognize that they have something to give, and that the law of reciprocity is spiritual law, universal law, when a person doesn't embody that and doesn't demonstrate that, then it's important for you to protect your energy, because if you're not careful, you'll give, and you'll burn out and you'll feel drained. And if you're not careful, you might even feel bitter or annoyed or frustrated. So it's so very important, as we're honoring our highest light, in it to win it, giving from the heart, from a pure heart structure, that we also set boundaries. And I do give a lot of things for free. I offer many, many things for free that I never charge for. And I will do that for the rest of my life. I'm happy to do it. But I also limit my time and energy to people who don't work with me directly as a client, or who don't demonstrate, gratitude, but they just take. Now, for every person that takes more than their share, there will always be those beautiful blessings from the divine where you are compensated beyond your wildest dreams. You're given more than what you could have ever imagined or asked for, because there will also always be beautiful people on the planet that see you and value you and honor you and love you and are so grateful that you exist. They're so grateful for your existence that they will go above and beyond to make sure that you know that you are appreciated, whether that's financially or in other ways. Okay. So when we recognize, dear ones, what power over structure looks like, then we can stop falling for all the shenanigans. It's amazing how the light is just coming in. The sun is getting ready to set. Recognizing that the various looks and tactics of power over structure gives you the upper hand, and it gives you an opportunity to implement counteractive measures. So basically, don't fall for the BS, dear ones. Okay. And also just remember, things get easier as you continue to honor your highest light, as you practice and embody self-love, self-validation, self-acceptance. Then you are anchored in knowing who you are. You're anchored in remembering that you're cut from a different cloth. You're an empath. You're a divine starseed. You're a light worker. You are a light being, a divine being of light, an emissary and an ambassador of the divine. You work with the universe. You work with nature. You work with angels. Everything you do is different. It's pristine. It's elevated. It's ascended. It's transcended. It's a higher offering. It's a higher elevated demonstration and an example of what's available as a human who's done the work. That's you, mirroring back to humanity who they are and who they have the potential to be. Remember, you are divinely supported, dear ones. The last thing I want to share with you, it's a very simple thing. It's a very specific message. You'll know if it resonates. It's super, super simple. It's so simple you could miss it, but it's an activation code. Somebody out there, maybe several of you, really wants to create something profound. We're winding down, coming to the end of the year. You want to create something. I don't know if it's a business. I don't know what it is. There's something you want. You have a goal and you're wondering how to do it. You're wondering how to get it off the ground. And this is what's coming through. It's so simple. It's so simple. You might go, what? That? But for those of you that this is for, it's going to resonate. And something is going to activate in you because it's an activation code. So this is what Spirit is saying. Spend less, save money, eat well, be healthy, honor your body, and use physical fitness as your magic wand. I know that sounds maybe simple. Like what? What is that? No, it's an activation code. You'll know if it resonates. It may not resonate for all of you. It may sound so simple, may sound cheesy, may sound corny. This is for somebody out there you have a goal, and it's about discipline, and it's about listening, and it's about following your intuition. And so here we go again. Eat less. No, sorry, spend less. Spend less money and save money. You're going to need this for a deposit or a down payment or something like that. So spend less at this time and save money. Eat well, eat well, eat well. I don't know what that means for you. Eat well, eat well, eat well, be healthy. Spend less, save money, eat well, be healthy, honor your body. I don't know what that means. That's going to mean something different for everybody. It might be the way you dress. It might be the clothing. It might go along with the way you eat. I don't know. I don't know what that means to you, dear ones. Honor your body and use physical fitness as your magic wand. all your physical fitness, all the things you do, dancing, Pilates, lifting weights, whatever it is, jumping rope, whatever it is, cardio, treadmill, whatever it is, elliptical, whatever it is, use that as your magic wand. Use that as your power, your force. When you're doing your physical fitness, see it as the thing that's activating the goal that you have, and allow yourself to integrate that it is done. Yeah, that it is done. So the very thing that you are wanting, praying for, hoping for, imagining, envisioning, the thing that you are brainstorming and creating, you're creating goals, and you want the action steps and you want the next steps to be able to implement that thing. This is your activation code. This is the beginning of it. And the discipline, exercising the courage to do it, and the discipline that goes along with it is going to help you integrate everything that you need, download everything you need so that you can actually achieve this thing in the new year. That's for someone. So take it if it resonates. And as usual, if it doesn't, whatever didn't resonate in these messages, toss it, let it go. Blessings to you, dear empaths. For those of you in the United States and across the world that may be celebrating Thanksgiving over the next week, blessings to you, much gratitude for you, and thank you for showing up and being the beautiful divine light that you are. These are the messages that I have for you, dear empaths, sending you lots of love and light. I can't wait to be with you again.